At one time, the universe was a living structure. Every planet, solar system, galaxy, and star lived in an abundance of light and was continually self-sustaining. There were 5 major planets that were most important because they fashioned the elements of nature. From these 5 planets, other smaller planets were derived all over the universe. There were beings who inhabited the universe at the time, the living elemental elves, or the Li. Full of light, energy, and life, they dwelled on the planets to maintain and nurture the elements for all to enjoy. The Li wore a coloured leaf that represented their home planet, connecting them to the elemental qualities. Blue for water on the planet Nen, yellow for prairies on the planet Laer, green for forest on the planet Nimloth, white for mountains on the planet Tink, or red for the desert on the planet Naur. It was not so much to diversify them, but to allow them to channel the strength from the elemental planet when needed. The Li were very mystical, but their power was part of their existence, allowing them to perform their sacred duties in nurturing life and light. The universe was home to many other beings as well, some of whom had developed their own way of controlling elements through magic. The witches, warlocks, and Wiccans. For eons of time, everyone lived in unison, but slowly, the witches and warlocks began to develop great pride in their accomplishments. They believed themselves to be better than the Li, and were convinced in their minds that they should be the ones to rule over lands and elements within all the worlds. However, their spells altered the elements from their natural state into what they deemed more superior. The catastrophic changes caused the Li to intervene, but the witches and warlocks refused to comply with their orders and caused great strife between them. The Wiccans, however, stayed true to their calling and stood with the elves. The resentment taking hold within the witches and warlocks gave rise to jealousy, and they revolted against the elves and Wiccans. Thus, a mighty chaos war took place throughout the universe. Life began to be destroyed upon planets, and the blasts from the battle created deep scars within the stratums of the cosmos. It seemed as if the war would be lost by the elves and Wiccans. However, another group of beings that hailed from worlds within worlds came to their aid, the Druids. Druids were warriors who stood for truth and honor. Their kingdom was centrally located in one realm where they lived and fought as one body of power. The Druids helped to turn the tide of the war in favor of the elves and the Wiccans, but the damage to the universe was already done. In an effort to preserve the original state of the cosmos, the elves, druids, and Wiccans compelled the war to one location in order to trap the dark forces. On the east side of the universe, a planet had not been damaged yet, and all of the elements were still working in harmony. Its name was Erthod. There was no habitation outside of nature and its animals on Erthod, so they set a hard course there. The druids, elves, and Wiccans drove the witches and warlocks to one spot within the darkest, coldest part of the world, the dark crystal caverns. Known as the Abandoned Ones, they were banished to spend their lifetime exiled from the light of the living for their rebellion against the Li. Knowing that the destruction in the universe from the Chaos War would soon follow them to Erthod. The remaining Li Zotial, or High Elven Elders, sacrificed the gift of light within themselves to create a protective shield around Erthod to keep it from being demolished. It was to be a place where all of the living could continue and thrive. The war had a devastating impact on the lives of those who fought, and many were lost to its grueling combat. Once established on Erthod, a great council was held, and a pact was made between the remaining elves, druids, and Wiccans. The society of the universe would live on in this world, everyone dedicated to their own purpose and station. Of the Li Zotial, who had sacrificed themselves, there were 5 princesses who were appointed rulers of the elemental regions on Erthod to maintain the virtue of the lands. 1 enchantress for each element: Arathron of the mountain realm, Elora of the forest realm, Valentia of the plains realm, Norin of the desert realm, and Oceana of the coastal realm.